All right, hello, wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday and another review about one of our tastings. And if you didn't make it, we're going to give you another chance to get these wines at the same price we offered them at our tasting. You know, one of the things when we do an event, we always offer the wines for you to try from bottle one at our case price. So if you look at our case pricing, Wine Watch is competitive with just about anyone in the country. Hey, we're a wine store in the middle of nowhere without a sign, so we have to be competitive. I know a lot of you buy wine just because I'm charming and cute, but our prices are also competitive. When you look at the 2012 Chapoutier Belarus Blanc, the first wine we had in the lineup, for those of you that were there, was the Vidal Fleury Côte de Rhone Blanc. It said 2012. It was 2011. The notes on the 2012 say it's a blend of different varietals, Roussanne, Marsanne. On the bottle, which usually you don't get grape varietals on the bottle for wines from the Rhone Valley. A lot of times they just expect you need to know that if it's white, it's Grenache Blanc, Roussanne, Marsanne, a blend with Viognier, Picpoul, some of the other grapes that are commonly found in the Southern Rhone. And with the reds, of course, we're talking about Grenache when you're talking Southern Rhones. But there are some people that make Syrah-based Southern Rhones. So it'd be nice if you producers would put the varietals on the back label, at least for us consumers here in this country. And for those people that forget, and for those people that don't know what the hell are in these grapes are in these wines. The Vidal Fleury said Viognier in the back, so I'm just going to guess it was 100% Viognier. But a very clean and refreshing style of Viognier. Really light, white peach and kind of melon fruit, a touch of flowers and wet stone. None of that overly perfume and none of that overly heavy nature that you get out of Viogniers in this country. A really nicely balanced wine and a great little value. You know, these white Rhones under $15, and a lot of them, like this Belarus, organically or biodynamically produced. Everything in Michel Chapoutier's portfolio is grown organically. This is a blend of Grenache Blanc, Claret, Roussanne, and Viognier. This one was a big hit because $9.90. Where are you going to find wines that are organic wines for $9.90? Go in your Whole Foods and try to find them. They're crap. This wine, outstanding, really light and refreshing, lovely golden pear and apple fruit, and just a touch of minerality on the finish. A great little refresher for the summertime, or any time for that matter, the 2012 Belarus Blanc. All right, the St. Cosme Côte de Rhone Blanc 2012. Well, this was the best white on the table for me. It was the most complex. Really had a lovely bouquet here. A little Picpoul and Viognier in with the Marsanne and Roussanne, and a lovely bouquet of peaches, kind of honeyed melon and pretty floral notes. Like I said, nice complexity on the palate, a lot richer than the first two wines. They had a nice smooth creamy texture here with layers of that perfume and spice and that rich fruit on the palate. Excellent juice, a few dollars more, but definitely worth the upcharge in my book. Next up, the Domaine Roche Côte de Rhone Village Carignan. It's not Carignan, okay? It's not a grape varietal. This is a village. They don't put grape varietals on the front of the label underneath Côte de Rhone Village. It would be Grenache, because this wine is 70% Grenache and 30% Syrah, aged in large demi-moods for 10 months. Lovely ripe berry pie fruit. One of the things I love about Côte de Rhone has this forward and seductive bouquet, fresh flowers and herbs, and a lot of that juicy fruit here on the tongue with ripe, sweet tannins and a host of that floral nuance from the nose through the finish. Just delicious berry pie fruit here. Very good stuff. And like I said, a lot of Côte de Rhones you can still find for under 20 bucks. Hey, some under $15. Well, not this one. The Domaine de la Grigue Vaccaras. This is a village south of Châteauneuf-du-Pape, and maybe not quite as famous, but it's run by Maxime Bernard, who is also the president of the Vignerons of Vaccaras, so a politician as well as a winemaker. And lots of spiced red berry fruit here on the nose with pretty floral notes and fresh and zesty wine on the palate. This one had lovely, smooth, silky tannins, sweet herbs, and floral notes to the finish. Light and refreshing red, but not light in nuance. This wine had a lot of complexity to it. Excellent example of Vaccaras. The Lirac, actually we tried before the Vaccaras, but the 2007 vintage really starting to drink nicely. This was a great vintage, had a lot of tannins, very structured. Even wines like these Liracs needed a couple years. It's nice that we got a couple years in this, and hey, we got a better price on this. I think we offered it 22 bucks. This wine we have on sale for $18 now, and it's a blend of 80% Grenache, 10% Syrah, 5% Mourvedre, 5 Cinsault, a good amount of fresh herbs and brown spice to that red cherry and plum fruit. Note of animal coming out there. Once you put that Mourvedre in there, you get that sauvage note to the wine. And this one was smooth and silky on the tongue with lovely notes of spice and earth nuance. And still a nice red berry fruit here as well. Really nice balance, drinking very nicely, and $18 a bottle. One of the best buy in the red category without a doubt. The Colombo Bardeval Chateauneuf de Pape. This wine, I think the crowd liked it better than the Vidal Fleury, but 2010 is such a structured vintage. Let me tell you, when I came back to work the next day, the Vidal Fleury was my favorite of the two Chateauneufs, but both really good. The Colombo wine has more Syrah in it than Grenache, and you would expect that from Jean-Luc, who's from the northern Rhone. He is the lone flag bearer for Coronas, or the largest producer there. There's other people that make Coronas, but 45% Syrah, 30 Grenache, 20 Mourvedre. Round and flamboyant. Le Bardeval means the partridges, so they must have some birds on the property here. And really complex bouquet here. Fresh berry pie fruit, dried herbs, flowers, that garrigue quality that you get from the southern Rhone really standing out. And some notes of dried meat. Some wild game notes in there as well. Really light and refreshing style with a good amount of red berry fruit, though, and a nice hint of spice and nuance. Not all that light in complexity, really fresh style, though, and long finish with some tannins coming out at the very end, though. Excellent juice. The 2010 Vidal Fleury looked darker in color, so it actually looked like there was more Syrah in the Vidal Fleury, but it's 85% Grenache, 10% Mourvedre, and 5% Syrah, aged completely in Foudre, which is larger oak. A nice amount of black peppery spice to this wine. Wild game, some violet floral notes coming out in the bouquet, black cherry and plum fruits. This wine had a good amount of spice on the tongue, too, with some rich black fruits here, and nice acidity holding things firmly in place. This wine is really nicely built, needs a little bit of time, though, like I said, really starting to come around on the second day. Excellent juice. That's what we had to drink at our Southern Rhone tasting at Cafe Max. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.